Welcome back everybody to another video. This one is I'm coming back on the Xbox for a little bit because I really like the game. The account's fully made, so why not? But definitely I'm sick of PvE stuff because this game is like extremely broken, and after playing Dark Souls 3, you know, the full playthrough. You know, I bought it when it first came out and like never got around to it because I was playing this, and then started playing it and noticed that like every single boss fight, even if I had like other people in on the boss fight, which I didn't really like, I just testing it. Oh, let's roll up on some of these people. Anyway, this I don't like PvE anymore because this game's trash for that. But PvP is still pretty fun because every game has laggy PvP, and this one is no different. But this video is going to be about the Magsorc PvP, the build that I'm using. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of funny builds that everyone will be using, but this is the one that I'm using, and I want to make a video on it because I like to trash people, and it seems really easy to trash on people. And there's one down. Now I'm with one other person. It's buddy time to Grape. Dude's a fucking phenom on the stand blade, so it's really fun to play with him. Group composition is really cool. Magic and a stamina build. So here's a little rotation type of stuff that I'm using. I'm just using some trashy alliance pots for the most part. Better potion selection would be a tripod though, because our major our major crit buff and our major spell damage buff are given to us from Power Surge, which is also a heal, and Inner Light on our front bar, which is the only place that crit matters, because, you know. And a solo death roll to get some noob. You're not really a noob, but you know, get some. That death roll, it really scares people. It's weird. Like, it doesn't really do any damage, but it's weird. So this is more of a tank spank kind of build because of all the penetration I have. And oh, would you have it? A tank Nightblade. Now let's just see how bad we trash them. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, our little Stainblade friends out there doing something else. This guy is not coming back from this. Most tanks, no, he came in for the last little bit there. Most tanks should be able to just, you know, sustain from one person attacking them. Like, I've seen a tank sustain from like 15 people. I call those, how many dicks in the ass can I take type builds. Alright, let's look at my map for a second. Appreciate it. Alright, now let's go back into the build here. So we got the defensive scroll buff, so the resistances you see will be 5% higher. However, that's not a bad thing, because let's look again. A little bit more buffed, and you see that we are at sitting pretty 22,000 spell resistance and 16,000 on our front bar. It's pretty decent. I use Blood Spawn. I really like it. This is just what I'm using. Okay, the ulti gen is super. And when it procs off and it gives me that 6200 resistance, it's buffed by percentages, so it's closer to 6500 for 6 seconds, and it can occur every 6 seconds. So if you're in a Zergy situation or you like to play in, you know, larger groups, this will actually proc quite often. And the stam recovery, I know it seems a little odd being in PvP, but it's actually really fucking nice. You know, being able to dodge roll. So you don't just bend down on your knees. And this is on our back bar where I got a defending Lich staff. That's right, Lich and spinners. I'm sure a lot of people use it, but I like using the Bloodspawn helm, and the composition of the actual gear traits that I'm using are very specific. So that's why I use that. Show here, I have 32 into resistant, 52 into spell shield, 37 ironclad. That's 15% from direct damage, so like my own crystal frags to be included. Quick recovery, 6%. I like that. Percentage multipliers to healing is nice. Yeah, and also specking in that left tree over there for the spell resistance is huge because you get a free damage shield when you block. Every time I block, I get that little orange globe, and it's really cool. You see that I do have like what it seems like low spell damage. I guess if you're fighting a trial monster or you're trying to do a DPS test, this would be a really fucking terrible setup. So don't do this. Don't take this build and go into a dungeon, like, unless you're trying to tank. Like, seriously, this is terrible for that. If you're a player that just seems like you're dying a lot, and you're not having problems with magic, the same exact builds, you can change the glyphs on your gear around. a little bit. I have one tri-stat glyph, one health glyph, and the rest magic. And that's really just because like I like the tri-stat on my helmet. It's the most value, most bang for your buck on a tri-stat, and the health is on my shoulder because it actually gives me just the amount of health I want. I like being about 22,000 on this. With the amount of resistances I have, even when I'm getting ganked, it's still pretty good. And this is fully buffed, you know, all the way up. 4,300 magic recovery. If you go take a resource, it jumps close to 5,000. And my gear is not like even gold. So if you had all gold stuff, you're going to be over 5,000 recovery, which is insanity. Like you're talking about just being able to sustain for days on days, man. You kill one little noob and then you go right on to the next one. 64 into magic. That's going to give us our most bang for our buck. Now, some would argue if you're dying a little bit, you could spec a little bit more into health. You know, maybe get up to 25,000 health in PvP. That'd be really smart. So here's a tri-stat, and I got a Kuda shot glyph on a sharpened spinner's staff, Inferno, because being able to charge up the heavy attack is going to help with our burst. And I like this because it gives us that 3,700 penetration. Now if it's gold, it's 4,000, so that's good. I don't have all impen gear because that's not how it works. Anyway, well, I'll get back to that. With light armor passives, you see here, we get just shy of 5,000 spell pen. So we'll just go ahead and round that up to 5,000. And plus our staff, which is going to be golded, is going to be just over, it's going to be like 5,200. And then spell erosion is 4113. With spinners, we are sitting just like, if you made it all gold, you're going to be at like close to 19,000 spell pen. Now, in PvE, that's bad because things only have 18,000 resistance. In PvP, as you saw, even on my front staff with Boundless Storm, I was at 22,000 resistance. So against another Sorc, I'm sitting pretty. That dude's close to naked. And you start to get that closer to naked feel, which is why this is a true tank spank type of build. Max magic stats directly affect your overall damage. Spell damage directly affects your overall damage. Penetration affects your overall damage. So that's why it's so good. Having light armor on your body is great for the extra magic recovery you get through the passives. So yeah, there we go again with the spell pen. Maybe I'll go back into my champion points here and we'll look a little bit. I got 43 Ellie Expert, 16 Elfborn, because you know when things do crit, it's nice to have that extra crit multiplier. 19 Blessed. With the quick recovery and Blessed, I think it's actually closer to like 11% more healing. So Sorcs don't have minor mending, which other classes do, which is why if you play other classes and then move to a Sorc, you'll feel like you're not healing quite as much because of that. So that's a little quick tip for PvP. You know, make sure you got all your bases covered. You want regen. Sorcs do a metric fuck ton of direct damage. They have great bursting capabilities, and we'll go over the skills here in a second. But the biggest problem they have is going to be magic recovery. They really don't have any abilities other than Dark Deal, which, I mean, slotting that, I don't know, man. I wouldn't slot it. Not on this build. So let's go back in here. 10% bonus damage, Ellie Expert. 7% from Elfborn. 5% extra healing from Blessed. And I say 7% because it just rounds. The game is broken. It rounds. 20% extra from Master at Arms. So our frags, and 9% from here. So our frags get the 20% bonus from Master at Arms, 9% from Shattering Blows. If they have a shield on, it gets 7% from Elfborn, and 9% from the Ellie Expert, which is really nice. Endless Fury, you see the explosion happens after 4 seconds. That's why the burst is so nice. Haunting Curse, I use Crushing Shock because Radiant spammers are jerks, and this is a way to just pwn those people. If you see someone spamming Radiant, you know they're trash, so you just streak up on them, Crushing Shock, streak, hit them with an Endless Fury, hit them with a Curse, Heavy Attack, Endless Fury, Heavy Attack. If your frags are proc, you throw a frag and then just spam them Force Pulse till they're dead. They can't fight back. And yeah, I'm a noob. I have a blue lich necklace because I'm lazy and I don't feel like farming it anymore. I know I go over to gear eventually. Yeah, so I got like reinforced pieces on my shoulders and my head. I have 2 heavy armor pieces because that gives me the most amount of my heavy armor passives. Medium armor is really like kind of whatever. If you're using blood spawn, you get straight up 129 stam regen. It's great. And I get that magic regen on my staff enchant, my back staff. It's great. It's great. Alright? It's just great. It's extra magic, dude. Come on. What else can you ask for? Every time it procs. And it does a little bit of burst damage. It does a tiny bit of damage if you light attack, but we're not worried about damage on our back bar. You see all impin? I got the 1 divines, bro. So having all impin is great if they're critting. Most people aren't critting a whole lot. So having that extra resistances to mitigate the damage first and foremost is the best, and then having impen to mitigate even further what their crits are doing. That is the trick right there. That turns radiant beams from a 9k to like 12k ticks on your death recap to like 3k. And honestly, the only time I've died in the last like fucking 5 days or so is because I'm getting attacked from other things. Like I'm focusing someone, and then I start to back out, and then I look at my death recap, and there's 3 snipes on my death recap. I feel like I've yet to be killed legitimately with this build. People that are running around snipe spamming, I don't know how to mitigate against that unless you want to just be a tank, and even then, eventually they're going to kill you because they're just snipe glitching you, and they're hitting you with like 3 or 4 snipes within 1 second. I've sent in tickets about this, but you know, Zos, they don't fix shit, which is why I'm here in PvP. I'm not ranting though. This is actually really fun. Switching from any class to Sorc, I would recommend this build because this blood spawn is great for staying alive. Like Engine Guardian comes to me. Engine Guardian comes a close second because what is it doing for you specifically? And just for a second, let's all appreciate Dead Body Man. Oh, let's all appreciate Vigor spamming Dead Body Man. Oh my God, let's all appreciate Vigor spamming oil dropping Dead Body Man. That might be the new meta. Just being Dead Body Man. Unresable Vigor spamming oil dropping Dead Body Man. That's great. That's awesome. At least it's on our side for once. Usually it's them that get the weird, you know, the weird buff glitches that just glitch out and buff you. Thank you, Dead Body Man, for Vigor spamming and dropping oils on the enemies. And also being unresable. Anyway, thank you, man. Thank you, Dead Body Man. Let's move on to a more practical application and how to actually make this thing work for you. Normally I'm not in big situations like this, but I'm just kind of like showing you this clip because it's a lot of time to show the rotation. So real type of rotation is keeping your keeping your AoEs up and your DPS down, as in you're making sure that someone is cursed at all times, because you don't know who's fragging who, you don't know who's attacking who, and your haunting curse explosion could be the last thing that ends someone and helps out when your friends burst. So if you're in a big group, you need to be throwing out your haunting curse, force pulsing until your frags are out, and if you see someone with low health, that's when you execute them. Or if you know that you've got a good shot at rotating them down. So the good rotation is going to be this heavy attack, curse, throw and execute, force pulse, frag, force pulse, you know, like that's going to be what it looks like. You know, if you're by yourself and you got to rotate, you know, a streak in there or some wards, that's what you're going to do. You're going to always animation cancel your wards to block animation cancel, because it's very possible that you might be blocking the 1 second that someone's dawnbreakering you or crit rushing you or doing something to you that could stun you. And then very well, you know, you rip back on them. They're expecting to be stunned and you're not. All of a sudden, you're back on your front bar with your wards up. Heavy attack, heavy attack, curse, throwing frags, throwing out an endless fury, execute. People start getting scared when they got that endless fury on them, because they know if they drop below 20% health within 4 seconds of being hit by that, that shit will explode and more than likely kill them. And I don't know if it can be blocked. I mean, I'm sure the explosion can be blocked, but like, try and time that block with getting bursted. That's not easy. Anyway, you are worth something as a Sorc. You're worth more than just sitting in the backfields and spamming your executes, okay? You're worth something, alright? Unless the guy's actually an execute, just don't, okay? Just wait. Just wait until you know you got someone, and then get them with that execute. And right here, buff went down, right back up. We're not caught without our Boundless Storm. There's other ways to do this build rotation. Some people take out Inner Light and use immovable crit magic pots so that they can put mines down. Mines are nice, but unless you're in a duel, I don't know, I haven't seen much use for them. I'm sure a lot of people think that's incorrect, but you know what? This is my playstyle, and a lot of PvP and how you're feeling about something oftentimes comes in handy about your actual damage. Like your ability to play in PvP often comes from you wanting to be there, not from, I don't know, just mindlessly gooning around, standing at breaches and just getting farmed all day. It's great. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be making more content like this because I really like Magsorcs, as you can tell, and I'm just sick of PvE, so I'm going to be in here. If you want to see me do something specific, you can always ask in the comments, and I'll do my best to make you a video. Thank you.